Lindsay, quite an interesting time to be able to speak to some of the leaders there of the Democratic Alliance. It seems there's some type of exodus at the DA and it's still continuing.
Maseko, the DA leader, John Steenhuisen, will differ with you on that point, but just in focus of where we are right now, this is one of these watch parties that the party is hosting across the country today. They are officially kicking off their election campaign with these virtual rally, and this is one of the watch parties. I'm in Kuils River in Cape Town. As you know, the DA, this is their stronghold, so this is where they campaign excessively hard to maintain the province, and in this case the city of Cape Town metro. And so today we can expect them to campaign on issues like the slow pace of the vaccine rollout, jobs, and we just heard from one of the constituency councillors in this area now complaints about electricity. So I think they're going to use today's platform to convince their voters that it is time for change. This is what they are campaigning about today as they host what they say is going to be the country's biggest virtual rally. Behind me, around 120 or so people who are at this particular watch party, where people who probably don't have access to watch this virtual rally online, and so the party is hosting about a dozen or so of these watch parties around the country. And as I say, in the Western Cape, where they campaign particularly hard to maintain the stronghold that they've had here in the city for almost 2 decades now.
Explain to us again, Lindsay, what it was, the reasoning rather, behind Phumzille van Damme's resignation.
Well, she didn't provide explicit reasons in her resignation letter. She insisted that she was not leaving because of any race issues that might have reported to have been dogging the party. She insisted it wasn't a racist party, that she had served with distinction as an MP for a number of years. We know that she really led the charge in getting an inquiry into the SABC. And she's been very vociferous, even travelling to London to highlight what misinformation in terms of the state capture project had done. And so she hasn't provided reasons as to exactly why she's leaving as an MP. Says she has felt that she's done her work here. She remains a member of the DA. There was some confusion about that yesterday as to whether she had in fact resigned from the party, because the party had said that they had accepted her resignation both as an MP and as a party member. But she has made it clear on her social media accounts that she remains a member of this party, and so what her future holds is unclear, but she has made it very clear that she will not be joining another party.
Lindsay, I wanted to talk a little bit about the notion by some South Africans that the return of the former leader, Helen Zille, saw a lot of people of colour resigning. I know that amongst them there are people, for instance, who are white that have resigned, but there's a notion out there that this is what has happened. Could we look at, I know that the leaders of the Democratic Alliance, like you said, John Steenhuisen, would disagree with the people who are saying that there's a huge exodus within the DA, but what are the supporters saying, especially looking at how they performed in by-elections?
Well, where I am right now, Maseko, is predominantly a lower economic area of the city. As you can see behind me, very few in this particular venue white supporters, if you want to bring it down to colour. So in this particular area, in this part of the city, the party does have a very strong following amongst the coloured community in particular. And so what we've seen in recent weeks, Bonginkosi Madikizela stepping aside voluntarily over a qualification scandal, it's just that. He's done so voluntarily. He's been with the party for many years, and the party has lauded him for taking that decision to step aside. Yes, surely there probably was quite a bit of unhappiness that felt that the former leader, Helen Zille, needed to have returned to the party, but that now is essentially water under the bridge. We saw the resignations of Musi Maimane, Herman Mashaba, other top leaders, which could have been linked to her return to the party. But as I said, that is pretty much now water under the bridge. She is firmly in that position, and so the party now is still insisting. When I spoke to John Steenhuisen yesterday, saying that this was still the most diverse party of any of the other political parties in South Africa, and that it still had the broadest representation in terms of colour. So the DA really looking to set aside those notions, race-based notions. It's always said that it puts forward people based on experience. Fit for purpose is their phrase, and that they don't believe that people should be advantaged or disadvantaged because of their race.
All right, Lindsay Dentlinger, thank you very much, out there for us in Cape Town.